can't have your record deal unless you get an abortion. You're too talented to have a baby, that your life's over, your career's over, you'll never be a hit songwriter, that you were helping break one of the biggest girl groups in the world. Because, basically now you're pregnant and you're useless. Put a finger down if when you were 18 years old, you were asked to fly across the world to work with a record label. And when you got there, they found out that you were an artist and they told you not to put out your music or your music video because they wanted to sign you and they gave you a $300,000 budget to release your first single. And you're like, hell yeah, because I always wanted a big rollout. And so you agreed to that. But what happens is that in the next year, they have you start writing for all of their artists. And every song that you write is a #1 for that artist. And then they ask you, can you start coming and watching trainees and some of our newer artists? And can you teach them how to sing like you and rap like you and give them some of your songs to practice to? And you're like, okay, I've got nothing better to do while I'm waiting for this deal. So you do that. Little did you know that you were helping break one of the biggest girl groups in the world. But what happens is that these girls debut and your deal gets pulled from you. Then they offer it again when you write another song that's an amazing song that does even better for them. So you get another deal offer. And then they make you wait for that again. And so now you're 23 years old and they've been making you wait for 5 years for this record deal. And when you finally get the record deal, you find out 3 days later that you're pregnant. And you go to the person that you've known since you were 18 years old and you tell them because you want to be honest. And that person looks at you and tells you, you can't have your record deal unless you get an abortion. And they tell you that you're too talented to have a baby, that your life's over, your career's over, you'll never be a hit songwriter, you can never be an artist now. And for an hour, they try to talk you into this decision. And you tell them, I can't live with that decision. You decide to leave the company and everyone is acting very nice to you. When you leave, the company tracks you down. The company you made millions of dollars for. They call you and they tell you that you need to pay them back the price of the ticket for the flight because, basically now you're pregnant and you're useless. And so you do have to pay them back. And nobody talks to you again for another 2 years. And you get a call out of the blue and it's like, hey, do you remember that song that you wrote for this other artist? And you're like, yeah. And I put it in the song and it's coming out tomorrow. That song comes out and it's bigger than ever. It takes these girls that were already huge and just catapults them into like worldwide superstardom, international. And so then everyone's like, wow, the baby didn't suck the talent out of her. And so everyone's talking to you again. You write songs completely by yourself and they don't get any support. They don't get a music video. And it's the highest selling song that has ever come out from the girls. No matter what you do, you still never get support and you don't get your deal. And you decide, you know what, I've kind of like reached the peak with where I'm at. I am so tired of like being a secret and being kept in the shadows and not being acknowledged, not ever being thanked. So you decide that you are going to self-fund your whole project. You're going to become anti-industry